Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Temptation's Ballad. So guys, we just kind of wrecked Clyde's place and we're kind of chilling out for a bit. So let's just go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you. And let's jump right in. Alarm Chen, you're up and let's go. Alright. The room was filled with the delicious smell of warm stew as a pot simmered over the stove. Renette Shrikewood doused the flames and carried the pot to the dinner table as his wife, Ilya Shrikewood, paced worriedly across the room.
Oh, honey, I'm sure our boy's doing fine. There's no need to fret.
Ilya wrung her hands against her apron with great anxiety as she stared at the door.
It's so late. Why hasn't Sid come home yet? Oh, I knew we shouldn't have let him run off on that adventuring party business. Who knows what kind of trouble he's gotten himself into?
Renette chuckled and pulled a serving of cheesy garlic bread out of the oven. The sweet, mouth-watering scent made his stomach rumble with impatience. Just watch. Sid's gonna walk through that door any minute now. He always shows up when dinner is ready.
Oh, but you should have seen him this morning. He was doing that thing with the broom. Plenty of boys sword fight with broomsticks.
Oh, okay. Plenty of boys sword fight with broomsticks. Let the poor guy have a little fun. Though we should probably have a talk with him about that frog friend of his. Ilya grabbed a broom from the closet and brandished it in the air, mimicking her son's movements from this morning.
Well, I suppose swinging this around is somewhat fun. Though play fighting with a broom won't help him much in a real fight. I just hope Sid remembers to stay safe. Maybe I should have given him the broom before he left. At least he wouldn't be unarmed.
Renette nodded wisely as he finished setting up the dinner table. Ah, yes, the broomstick. Truly the deadliest weapon of an adventurer's arsenal. Despite her worry, Ilya let out a small laugh and waved the broom in her husband's direction.
The way Sid swung this thing around would be plenty deadly. Oops!
Ilya lost her grip on the broom as she tripped forward. The broomstick sailed across the air in a graceful arc right as the living room door swung open. He's gonna get hit by Dad. Mom! Dad! I'm home! Ah! Oof! Sid stepped into the room and was immediately smacked across the face with the flying broomstick.
Oh my goodness, Sid! I'm so glad you've made it home!
Sid barely had a moment to recover before his parents flocked over him like doting mother hens. Son, how did your first day of adventuring go? Ilya fussed over his ruffled clothes and crooked glasses while wearing her perpetually worried expression.
Did you get anything to eat today, dear? Why are you covered in scratches? You didn't get into any fights, did you?
Sid chuckled and batted away at her fussy hands. Hey! Slow down, Mom. Give me a chance to breathe. Ilya crossed her arms with a huff.
I was worried sick all day. You could have at least dropped by and told us where you were.
As Ilya retreated to the dining table, Sid couldn't help but notice his mother limping slightly and wincing whenever she bent her spine too much. His chest lurched with worry. His father beckoned Sid to seat with a grin and began serving out stew. Heat up! You're probably starving from after working all day. How did things go? You gotta tell us all about it. Sid puffed out his chest proudly.
I'll have you know that the day went fantastically.
He dug out his coin sack and presented his day's earnings to his parents with a grin.
I finally am a member of a proper adventuring party. And don't worry, I kept my promise and made some friends to team up with.
Ilya and Renette's eyebrows rose with surprise. The two of them exchanged glances and nodded supportively. Oh, my boy finally made some friends.
We're so happy for you. What kind of frogs are they, dear? Huh?
Sid's jaws dropped for a moment before spluttering indignantly.
No, they're both real people.
Ilya and Renette froze with surprise before instantly erupting in overjoyed shouts. That's excellent news, son! Good for you!
Oh, thank goodness! Real people! I'm so glad! Who are your new friends? Are they nice? Surely you should invite them over sometime. We'd love to meet them.
You never believe who I ran into today. Sid spent the rest of the night recounting his adventures to his excited and thrilled parents. Ilya hung on to every word, completely enraptured as he told his story. Renette kept patting Sid on the shoulder with joyous laughter as he spoke. The stew was delicious as usual, but tonight it tasted exceptionally great. Sid's chest felt alight with pride and satisfaction for the first time in as long as he could remember. Oh. Marauders District, Bonebreaker Mercenary Company Guild Building. Alrighty. Back to Daddy's place. Papa, I'm home! As soon as Cole opened the door to the Bonebreaker Mercenary Guild, he was hit by uproarious laughter and drunken hollering. His father was drunk singing tavern songs with dozens of other mercenaries, his voice droning with a tipsy pitch. Meanwhile, Amish was trying to do paperwork at the bar, but he was continuously interrupted by Marrow stealing kisses from him every few minutes. Amish grumbled and pretended to be annoyed as he buried his face in his papers. Cole smiled and gently closed the door behind him. As soon as Marrow caught sight of him, he slammed his tankard of ale loudly onto the table with a jolly laugh. "Well, looky here, my darling boy has returned. How goes your first day back on the job?" Marrow's jovial voice boomed through the building with a deep rumble. Several other mercenaries turned their heads and waved to Cole as he approached his father's table. Cole puffed out his chest and stood a little straighter. "Do I ever disappoint?" He tossed his coin sack onto the bar with a loud thump. Good lord, what kind of music is this? Okay, let me mute it a little bit. I mean, I like the music, it's just I don't want it to be copyrighted. This sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean-esque music. He tossed his coin sack onto the bar with a loud thump. Not only did I complete a mission and bring home some loot, I formed my own little adventuring guild with 2 fresh recruits. Well, one of those recruits might not be coming back, but still. In just our first day, we kicked ass, broke out of jail, defeated Val, the best fighter of your favorite ring. The best fighter of your favorite fighting ring. You should have seen us, Papa. Marrow was absolutely beaming as he gave Cole a rough slap on the back. "That's my boy. My pride and joy. I knew you had it in your I knew I had it in you for greatness. One of these days, you'll grow into an even better man than your old Papa here. Beat Val in his own little ring, eh? You'll become a fine mercenary yet." Marrow slung an arm around Cole's shoulders and pulled him close with a sly wink. "Now tell me, during your great big brawls today, did you fight fair?" Cole smirked back knowingly. "Of course not. We Bonebreakers fight to win!" The room instantly burst with roars of drunken laughter and hollers of agreement. "Attaboy! You do your old man proud." Cole's stomach felt flutter as he drank in all the praise. Every one of Papa's words felt like a warm embrace in his heart. From his seat next to Marrow, Hamish put down his pen and cleared his throat loudly. "How experienced are your new recruits? You should bring them over to the tavern." "It's a guild building!" Hamish rolled his eyes with a soft smile. "Guild Tavern. Your father and I would love to meet your new friends sometime." Cole crossed his arms and shot him a dirty look. "Nobody asked you, Amish." The older hyena visibly stiffened and looked away. Marrow let another jolly laugh and ruffled Cole's hair. "What? You scared we'd take your new lackeys from you? Worry not, boy. Hammy is right. You should bring them over. I want to personally see what they're made of. If they suck, I'll give them the good old Bonebreaker training regiment and whip them into shape. Nothing but the best for my darling son." "Actually, I was going to ask you about this, Papa. Are you free at all tomorrow? One of my boys doesn't have experience with a weapon. Do you think you can fit him with some equipment and give him a little training tomorrow?" "Consider it done. I look forward to seeing what your men are made of." Papa's enthusiasm was truly infectious. Cole couldn't help but smile at the sight of his father brimming with pride as he showed off his son's success to all the men of the Mercenary Guild. His approval filled Cole's chest with a warm sense of belonging. "Oh, by the way, Papa, there's something I want to show you." "Can I speak with you privately for a moment?" Marrow downed another goblet of ale and wiped his face with a smile. "Of course, I always have time to spare for you." Oh boy. The drunken hollers of the mercenary men dimmed to muffled background noise as Cole led his father towards a quiet corner of the building. Marrow's steps wobbled with a hint of tipsiness, his face still plastered a jolly smile. "Well, son, what did you want to show me?" Cole turned to face his father and took a deep, nervous breath. "Well, I just wanted to say that I really appreciated the new loot you gifted to me this morning. It means a lot that you support me and stuff other than the usual mercenary business." Marrow laughed and roughly tousled his hair again. "Nonsense! You're the son of Marrow Bonebreaker. You deserve the best a father could give you." Cole cleared his throat. "And you deserve the best a son could give, too. I couldn't just accept your gift without giving something back, so, I got a little something for you." Cole reached into his pocket and pulled out a single glistening ruby. "Yeah, you little shit." He held it out to his father with trembling hands. "Here you go. One-of-a-kind gem for my best one-of-a-kind Papa." Marrow's jaw fell agape in surprise. His expression soon melted into a warm, heartfelt smile. He kneeled down until he was at eye level with Cole and brushed his hands against the ruby in Cole's palms. "This is beautiful. You got this for me?" Cole nodded earnestly. "Of course. Nothing but the best for my Papa." Marrow barked out a hearty laugh, and he pulled Cole close in a tight hug. I assume this is the spoils of your first adventuring party's efforts, isn't it? If so, you should keep it.
What? You mean you don't want it?
Mero shook his head with a smile. Nay, I already have the greatest gift a father could ask for. A happy and loving son. Cole bit his lip and stared down at the ruby in his hands quietly.
You mean it, right? You're not just saying that because you're trying to be nice and supportive, are you?
I speak only the truth. No treasure in the world could compare to the sheer joy I feel right now. I love you so much, my darling son. Cole's chest fluttered with warmth again as he gazed up at his father's warm, prideful eyes.
Thanks, Papa. I love you too.
Oh, what a bunch of cuties. Where are we going now? Milton Zinthar, Pirate's Isle. Oh, okay. Church District. All right. Oh, goodness.
You what?
Bishop Katrina's shrill voice echoed through the grand cathedral's white walls sharply. Artemy winced and continued to hang her head low in shame, unable to meet her mother's eyes.
Arrested on your first day? Participating in an underground fighting ring? And worst yet, disobeying my order and then failing to so utterly at the world's simplest mission. You are an utter disgrace to this church. Had I been a less patient and gentle bishop, you'd be thrown out to the streets the moment you returned home.
Artemy's shoulders shook as she squeezed her eyes shut.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Bishop Katrina continued to pace and fume across the cathedral with absolute fury.
That crown was part of the royal family's collections. It belonged to the late king and was meant to be passed down to his son after his death. Do you know how utterly humiliating it was to tell the prince that my own daughter had lost it all with all its jewels?
Katrina let out a heavy sigh.
Thankfully, His Highness is a patient man. When I reported this news, he simply laughed and said that this may be a good learning experience for a whelp like you.
She turned towards Artemy with a snide snarl.
Cassius, oh god! Prince Cassius has given you a mission. You have 1 year to find and recover the 4 missing rubies of his crown before his coronation ceremony. You will do well to mend your disgrace to this church.
Artemy stood up straight and saluted stiffly. She blinked and did her best to ignore the tears that were welling up in her eyes.
Thank you for this chance, Your Excellency. I will do my utmost to right my mistakes. Oh, you'll need to do better than your utmost, young lady. I don't believe you understand the gravity of your situation.
Katrina crossed her arms and glared in disgust.
Should you fail in your mission, the church will strip you of your title as the Creator's Chosen.
The air grew cold. Artemy felt the air rush out of her lungs as a wave of panic and terror washed over her.
What? What will I do without my duty as the Creator's Chosen One? Your Excellency, I beg of you to reconsider. You can't possibly.
An amused, predatory sneer spread across Bishop Katrina's face. It vaguely reminded Artemy of stray cats cheerfully playing with their food before consuming them.
Oh, but I can. You are not officially acknowledged as the Creator's Chosen until you are able to pull the Creator's holy blade from its resting place. Your current position and status holds little weight officially. Her sneer dissolved into a cruel chuckle. And you cannot even attempt the ceremony to retrieve the holy blade without the church's express permission. Seeing as I am the Grand Bishop of the church, I hold the right to strip you of your title and purpose. Katrina's sharp gaze bored through Artemy's like nails. The church will have its worthy chosen, one way or another. If you do not meet the mark, the church will find someone else. I assume you understand what that entails. Artemy's heart pounded rapidly against her chest. Terror and dread gripped her mind as her breathing deteriorated into ragged hyperventilating. What would she possibly do without her duty? She had trained her entire life for this purpose. The thought of losing it all was the level of despair Artemy could scarcely comprehend. Her vision blurred and the room began to spin as her lungs screamed for air. A soft buzz suddenly echoed through the empty cathedral hall. Who might this be?
Katrina sighed and fumbled about her robes and pulled out a small arcane crystal. With a tap, the crystal glowed with a soft golden hue. A familiar voice buzzed through the stone with a booming laugh. Hello! Can anyone hear me? At the sound of the Knight Commander Grank's warm voice, Artemy snapped her head up. Air rushed through her lungs and her breathing suddenly felt easier. She trembled and attempted to hold back her tears.
Yes, Knight Commander, this is Bishop Katrina speaking.
I'm afraid I'm an old bear. All these newfangled arcane crystals and speaking stones are an absolute hassle to figure out. It appears our beloved bishop had trouble with them as well, since I just overheard your entire conversation. Katrina's eyes widened in surprise and her expression scrunched into a disgusted scowl. Artemy, I hope you are doing well. What a day, eh? I would be there with you right now, but I'm afraid I'm busy haggling with the city watch at the moment. Sure enough, arguing voices could be heard in the background of the call. This aggravating fellow keeps screaming about how we shouldn't drop charges on a wanted exhibitionist hyena. Oh, I can't repeat the rest of this indecency. Grank laughed and cleared his throat. Anyway, back to business. Dear Bishop Katrina, I must ask you to kindly cease all this useless threatening to our Artemy. Sowing seeds of fear in her will not help the situation. Katrina let out a harsh hiss and she gripped the speaking stone tightly.
She disobeyed orders. She made a fool of herself and the church. Misdemeanors must be disciplined.
Grank's booming voice continued, speaking as though he didn't hear a single word she just said. And you absolutely will not withhold Artemy's title from her. This is an order. His tone suddenly dipped into a low, dangerous rumble. History will not condemn the creators chosen for losing a lousy piece of jewelry. Young Artemy, while you have a long task ahead of you, do not be discouraged by this small shortcoming. You are dismissed. You'll get some rest and worry about recovering these rubies tomorrow after you're no longer exhausted from today's ordeals. Despite the fact that Grank could not see her, Artemy bowed her head deeply.
Thank you, Knight Commander. I will not let you down again.
Katrina let out a low scoff.
Knight Commander Grank Stormborn, you're the one who allowed her this mission despite my orders. Upon your head lies the consequences should we fail.
Grank laughed cheerfully. I will happily take this wager. Her mom is a fucking bitch. Wow, what an awful little room. That's like a fucking prison cell. Artemy felt utterly exhausted in both body and spirit when she retreated to her small room. Her eyes could barely stay open, all the strength drained from her limbs. She collapsed onto her lumpy bed with a deep sigh.
Some people are born a little disappointing.
Cole's previous words rang through her head as she squeezed her eyes shut.
That couldn't be true, could it?
But... Artemy sighed again. After all the mishaps from today alone, she couldn't help but think that there was a little truth to his words. She rolled over on her uncomfortably lumpy mattress and was abruptly met with the sound of crunching paper.
Huh?
She fumbled her hands across the mattress and retrieved a small piece of paper.
A letter?
Her heart skipped a beat as she instantly recognized the Knight Commander Grank's messy handwriting. She quickly unfolded the paper with a small smile on her face in spite of her dreary mood. Hello, my dear pupil. I apologize for being unable to meet you in person after your first mission outside the church district, as I am busy organizing recovery teams for the royal family and sorting out this illegal fighting ring business. You deserve better than a dusty old letter than with my atrocious handwriting scribbled across it. Warmth fluttered across her chest and she let out a soft laugh.
Oh, Knight Commander.
I know you must be in a horrible state after the verbal beating your mother no doubt gave you. Do not listen to a single word of hers. You must be feeling terrible. But know that these feelings will pass. Failure is a part of life. Everything is a learning process. Though a failure is a ruthless teacher, take this as an opportunity to improve. You only grow better from here on. And look on the bright side. You finally experienced your first day outside the church district. Was it fun? Exciting? Surely it could not have been entirely bad. I wish to hear all about it once I've returned from my tasks. Prepare to tell the tales of your adventure when I return for our usual tea and cookie session. Did you make any good friends? Artemy reached the end of Grank's letter, her smile fading. I'm gonna pause it right here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. God, her mom is... I have my suspicions about Knight Commander Grank as well. I figure that several people in this little story are not who they say they are. Or at least are hiding things from the main cast. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!